And you'll notice that when the two halves of the cerebellum come together, there's this raised sort of little ridge running right in the middle between the two. This is the vermis. So this little bit here, right in between the two halves of the cerebellum, is the vermis. It's kind of a little raised structure right in the middle. It's the vermis. Right back here, right between the two halves of the cerebellum. Okay, I think that should be it for our exterior structures. So let's pop open the brain. Now when we pop open the brain, the first thing you want to look for is there is a chicken head inside your brain. You can see his crest, his eye, and his little beak right up there in front. Crest, eye, little beak, chicken head right in the center of our brain. Crest, eye, beak, crest, eye, beak. If you can find the chicken head, makes everything else a lot easier. The crest of the chicken head, this is going to be known as the Corpus Callosum. So the crest of the chicken head is the Corpus Callosum. Big main piece right in here is the Corpus Callosum. Then the main portion of the chicken head, right around the eye, is going to be the thalamus. So right around his eye is the thalamus. It's the thalamus. And then the beak of the chicken is the hypothalamus. So the beak of the chicken right up here in front is the hypothalamus. So right there is the hypothalamus, the beak of the chicken. Right there up in front. And then the chicken has a cherry hanging out of its mouth. You see a little cherry hanging out of the chicken's beak there? Little cherry. That cherry is going to be the pituitary gland. So the actual bulb is the pituitary gland. And then you have the stem, which is the infundibulum. So the bulb is the pituitary gland, and the stem is the infundibulum. The actual cherry is the pituitary gland, and the stem that the chicken has in its mouth is the infundibulum. Okay. Now the chicken also has right under his chin a little bulge right there. This little bulge is the mammillary body. It's a little mammillary body. That little bulge right under his chin there. See that? Bulge right there under his chin. There's a mammillary body. Bulge right there is the mammillary body. Okay, then we have coming across the top of the chicken head this kind of pink streak. This is the epithalamus, and it ends in the pineal gland. So we have the pink streak is the epithalamus, and it ends in this little nubbin at the end is the pineal gland. So epithalamus, pineal gland. Epithalamus, pineal gland. Epithalamus, pineal gland. Epithalamus leads back to the pineal gland right there. Hanging off of the back of the chicken's head. We have the pons. Pons is this big old bulge right up here in front. It's the pons. There's this big giant bulge right up in front. Immediately behind the pons, we have the cerebral peduncles. It's a strip right here, right behind the pons is the cerebral peduncles. Cerebral peduncles is a strip right behind the pons here. Then there's a little gap right there. That's the cerebral aqueduct. So there's a little gap known as the cerebral aqueduct there. Little gap, the cerebral aqueduct. Little gap is the cerebral aqueduct right there. And then behind the cerebral aqueduct, you can see there's two bulges right here. Two bulges right here at the very back of the brainstem here. Behind the cerebral aqueduct, this is the Corpora Quadrigemina. So see those two bulges here? It's the Corpora Quadrigemina. See those two bulges right there? It's the Corpora Quadrigemina. Right at the back of the brainstem, you can see two bulges. And of course, if I had both halves of the brain, it would be four bulges, hence quad. So that's the Corpora Quadrigemina there, and that's right below the pineal gland. Right there. Okay. Then at the very base down here, below the pons, we have another bulge. This is the medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata right down here, right below the pons, right below the cerebral peduncles there is the medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata. We also have, if you look here, it's kind of hard to see on here, but it's present. There's a triangular space right here between the peduncle and the cerebellum here. Sort of a triangular space there. That's going to be the fourth ventricle. It's the fourth ventricle. It's this triangular space here right between the brainstem and the cerebellum is the fourth ventricle right there. Fourth ventricle. Right there, that space right there. Should also mention that we have this space created by the thalamus and hypothalamus. So the thalamus and hypothalamus are the walls of a space known as the third ventricle. So the space where I'm putting my finger into the brain here, this is the third ventricle. The thalamus and the hypothalamus make up the walls of the third ventricle, which is this space up here. Thalamus and hypothalamus make up the walls of the third ventricle. Looking at the cerebellum, you'll notice there's a white tree-like structure in here. This is the Arbor Vitae. Arbor Vitae, it literally means tree of life. So that white structure in the back of the cerebellum here, when we cut it in half, is the Arbor Vitae. So that's the Arbor Vitae there. Right there. Arbor Vitae. So that's the Arbor Vitae. And then the leaves of the tree. All the brown around the white tree, that's the cerebellar cortex. So all the leaves of the tree are the cerebellar cortex. The leaves of the tree are the cerebellar cortex. Leaves of the tree are the cerebellar cortex. Okay, let me go grab one more model here.